The process of electing a pope, known as the Conclave, is one of the most sacred and significant rites in the Church's history. The word conclave itself comes from the Latin cum clave, meaning with a key, referring to the custom of locking the cardinals in seclusion until they have chosen a new pope. It is a process that has evolved over centuries, shaped by both necessity and divine guidance. The First Vatican Council, which took place from 1869 to 1870, definitively defined the papacy's role in the Church, asserting the Pope's authority as the vicar of Christ on earth. But even before that, the cardinal's role in electing the Pope was central to ensuring the continuity of Christ's mission. They are not merely picking a leader, they are choosing the successor of St. Peter, the man entrusted with the keys to the kingdom of heaven. The conclave should be a time of deep prayer, discernment, and dependence on divine guidance, as cardinals hopefully seek to elect a pope who will protect the faith, lead with wisdom, and remain faithful to Christ's calling. However, as we reflect on this topic, the election of a pope, let us consider that this is not always and absolutely so, for each cardinal always has the freedom to make a choice that is based on man-made preferences instead of divine inspiration. To explore this, I invite you to journey with me through two great biblical events, the Tower of Babel and Pentecost. These are not merely episodes in salvation history. They are lenses through which we can better understand the human and divine elements of the conclave and how freedom and divine guidance coexist in the heart of the Church. Let us begin with Genesis chapter 11, verses 1 to 4. And the whole earth was of one tongue and of the same speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and dwelt in it. And every one said to his neighbor, Come, let us make bricks and bake them with fire. And they had brick for stone, and lime they had for mortar. And they said, Come, let us build a city and a tower, the top whereof may reach to heaven, and let us make our name famous, before we be scattered abroad into all the earth. Mankind, of one language and one ambition, sets out to build a tower that reaches heaven. It is not merely architecture, it is arrogance. They said, Let us make a name. Let us be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And what was God's response? And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of Adam were building. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and all have one tongue, and they have begun the work, and now they will not be restrained from any design which they have undertaken to do. That's from Genesis chapter 11, verses 5 and 6. But God confounds their language, scatters their unity, and brings their work to nothing. Why? Because it was unity without truth, ambition without grace, order without obedience. In every age, the temptation to build our own tower reappears, even within the church. Men, yes, even churchmen, may strive for unity, influence, or power without submitting to God's will. And when that happens, confusion follows. Now let us consider Pentecost, as described in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 2, verses 1 to 4. And when the days of the Pentecost were accomplished, they were all together in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven, as of a mighty wind, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. And there appeared to them parted tongues, as it were of fire, and it sat upon every one of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with diverse tongues, according as the Holy Ghost gave them to speak. As the apostles gathered in fear and humility, awaited the promise, and when the Holy Ghost descended, they spoke in tongues, not to confuse, but to unify, not to exalt themselves, but to proclaim Christ crucified and risen. This is not human ambition, but divine mission. The Spirit did not scatter their efforts, but ignited them. Pentecost is the prototype of true ecclesial unity, not a unity built by compromise or power, but by the fire of divine truth. And so we come to the question, what happens in a conclave? The Church teaches that the election of a pope is not protected by divine appointment, as if the Holy Ghost directly chooses the man, but by divine assistance. He does not override free will, but preserves the Church from destruction. That is a humbling truth. The cardinals remain free men, capable of virtue and of vice, of holy discernment and political calculation. A conclave, then, is not Pentecost guaranteed. It can sometimes resemble Babel, and yet even such times, the gates of hell shall not prevail.